Welcome back to Enlightenment Essentials, one of the beautiful channels here on Ascension TV online. I'm joined today by Aureya Magdalen. Thank you so much, Aureya, for joining me again. It's just, we've been weaving our way to this landing today, haven't we? We've both been
Yeah.
busy and doing different things, so it's just so lovely to connect to you today and with you today. And I'm so excited about this. We are talking about soul origins. And I've got to say, Aureya, on my journey, I think I have really ruffled people's feathers when I kind of talk light language, slightly out of maybe out of context, or I think, I share something about a past life or this, and the amount of people that have said to me, "You're only human," and in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not." Excuse me, but I'm not. You might think you are, but I don't, because as a child, one of my, I had my God moment. And then one of my really earliest memories of there's something more than this, just, our earthly lives, was watching Star Wars. Ray, I don't know if you're a fan. I'd love to hear what your
Oh,
thoughts are.
totally.
Right. And I literally, I can always hear, I'm tingling and I can always hear the theme tune and I can see it. And like just being like, yeah, yeah, that just, it just made so much sense to me. And it was like I just feel homesick, I want to go, I don't know what part of it, right? And I'm sure there's many stories about people will say that's probably part of the Orion Wars coming through and being shown. So I don't know if you know much about that. I've not asked too much from spirit, but so that's what we're talking about today, because to me, who we are in our human life is so very affected by who we've been or who our higher self is and where other parts of our souls are residing. So what do you want to say about that, Oreo? I think you might have lots to say, which I'm so excited to hear.
Well, about Star Wars, I think a number of us will remember the scene where it was almost like a party and there were beings from that looked totally different, right? From all the different planets. And I remember that like, yeah.
Yeah, and
And
I'm
then,
getting shivers. I am
yeah.
literally getting shivers all over, like heat. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then when I was working with what I used to call the new children, kind of ET children that were just trying to incarnate into a human body,
yeah.
um, one of the young people said, uh, sometimes when I'm, at home, I can hear very distantly the voice of my mother talking to me, but it's so faint because I'm listening, to these other beings who are much more present for me.
Mm.
And
Oh
and I
God.
think a lot of children, especially nowadays, have that experience of, you know, inner friends from elsewhere. Yeah. But let me talk about my childhood and teen was I'd be out playing, like sardines, like hide and go seek, but you all get in one spot with all my neighborhood kids. And I'd be just standing, in the dark, and all of a sudden I would feel like someone tapping on my shoulder. And I'd look up and I'd look directly at the Pleiades.
Wow.
And that happened, you know, many, many, many
Wow.
times. Yeah. And
Amazing.
then and then during the harmonic convergence, I had the book fall off the shelf thing in my own library, which something I'd never read about the Pleiadians. And anyway, so we're going to talk about what I know, which is this tiny amount of what you're like if you're more from the Pleiades, Andromeda, Arcturian,
Oh,
Sirian. Those are I'm going to just do those four basics,
oh,
and also if you're from the angelic planes.
beautiful. Thank you,
Yeah,
Aurelia.
and
And
then
actually, oh, go on. Sorry, go,
and
go.
then we're going to do a little reading.
Yes.
For Caroline Mary,
Oh my
of where
gosh.
the heck is she from?
I am so excited because and do you know what's funny? A memory just come in. I was doing some shamanic healing at a festival. It's the first time I'd gone out like guns blazing, yeah, I'm doing this. And I was around people that I was just the stoner Caroline that dances a lot. And they were like, whoa, what are you doing, man? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm doing this shamanic healing. And this guy came and we were all just sat outside in the sun. And he was kind of looking and checking. I was like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm just checking out everyone. I was like, okay. And he's like, oh, I get where they're from. I get to know where they're from. Some soul life, Pleiades. And he's looking at me and I'm like, what? And he's like, I cannot work you out. You've been everywhere. I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense because in my earth life, I feel like I have a memory feeling, what I call like a memory feeling knowing of like I know how to do like almost loads of jobs. And I know it's not from this life because obviously either we've got parallel lives or different multiple lives or collective soul memory, whatever. And it's the same when I've looked at the stars, I almost don't because it makes me homesick. And it's this, I have the same feeling with indigenous cultures. Like I know there are still indigenous cultures, but some part of me is like, I can feel that now, this sadness of, yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the same as when I lived in those time or that. There's this real sadness in me. So I haven't done a lot of looking, but I definitely know. I mean, obviously, I speak light languages, and depending who I'm with, multiple languages come through. So, oh my God, I'm so excited. Let's dive in. Tell me what you know, Aureya.
Well, I do feel that you've been from multiple planets, and
Yeah.
I do just want to say that most people who are like us, that fast, this isn't the first time you've been enlightened. You've come here to assist the Earth's enlightenment. Most of us have been on several planets, and we have a planet of origin.
Yes,
And
that's the different. It's a different thing, isn't it? Yeah, I get.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Like you know, and I think that's like original lives from this round of lives of this soul. And I
Yeah.
think that there's, hundreds and hundreds of lives,
Mm.
and that I personally originated in the kind of Lyra Pleiadian
Okay.
group,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started to come here, and then I go back, and I know I've lived on Andromeda, and I know the Syrians, which I have a great little story about the Syrians. But anyway, and you mostly remind me of the Syrians, just by the way. So we'll get there.
That's
But
interesting. And I'm getting so many shivers. And what I was hearing is emissary, and I've had that said to me, like, in meditation, like galactic emissary. I don't even say that word that often,
yeah,
but that's what I was hearing from you because that's the thing, isn't it? At the moment, that's why Earth's population is so big because loads of people are like, they need some help down there. Let's get down there. So we're like coming in, come on. And if
yeah,
we can remember, I mean, obviously that's the challenge. Can we remember our soul and then activate, the gifts or whatever it is we're here to do? So yeah, amazing. All right.
yeah, yeah. The codes. So sort of the way I think about it is that we had
Yeah.
an agreement before birth, and
Mhm.
sometimes before even we started our incarnations on the
Mhm.
earth,
Yeah.
to bring, certain groupings of codes that would then go out into the consciousness and help
Mm.
us. For example, one of my Magdalene codes is redoing value, the deep value of a human being, which reflects in our currency values, and them all being recirculated right now, reassessed, so it will eventually be one to one, all the countries,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
that
Yeah.
will be so beautiful. So
Hukwe nama.
yeah, so okay, so I'm going to start with angels because in a way they're the closest to us, you know. Um, they're kind of in the um, dimensions here on Earth. And we all know an angel, I can guarantee you, and you'll recognize it when I tell you the um, qualities of personality that an angel usually has.
Mm-hmm.
So I have many in my personal life, and they tend to be have a lot of heart and a lot of depth.
Mm,
And they're not like a flashy person. They don't usually like want to be seen. They usually want to isolate, like they want to live alone often. And if they live with someone, it will take a long time for them to adjust. But if you think of them as they're a sound being, you know, they communicate and do healing through sound.
mm,
So I've spoken on I think our last session about a group that I channel called the Command 1221.
mm,
And the beings that come in because of the person that I'm channeling for and their lineages,
yeah.
and if they've been an angel or not. And it's sort of like the Star Wars thing, you know, up there on this space fleet, there's beings from everywhere.
Mm,
And they're here to help us, the kind of leaders, uh,
mm,
strengthen our receptivity to our codes, right?
mm,
To be able to bring them through more strongly. Okay. So
mm,
the angels are sound beings. And when I do channeling, I sometimes say to the person, okay, these three guides are going to work on such and such that we've already outlined, and they're going to just do sound healing on you
mm.
for 3 minutes. And
Okay.
I'm going to watch and tell you. Or sometimes the guides will say, you also do sound healing.
Okay.
Sometimes that body needs to hear my sound to ground and receive their sound because their sound is like laser. It's so fast and strong. Um, Okay, so the angels love sound. They almost all love music.
Mm,
And their ideal is to be in a group because angels are a group being. They're not individuated into a one person. They work as a group. So um, so their ideal would be being in a group that's very aligned with each other energetically. And it would be kind of like the Om, you know, the oneness sound.
beautiful. Yeah.
So doing music, but very heart based.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so because they love that Om energy so much, they really want to kind of be in la la land. So they'll tend towards addictions. They'll they'll tend towards to be a really good, you know, cannabis user, or, you know, well,
Yeah.
not so much alcohol, usually kind of the higher, get up in the higher frequency drugs. Mushrooms are very simpatico with the angels.
Okay.
Anyway,
Oh,
uh,
so funny.
yeah, so then they have like an approach avoidance to being with people. You know, they will often make an agreement to be with you and then they'll cancel, or they'll say they'll come to a party and then they won't because they really want to be in the Om. They want to be in the hum. So they'd really rather be alone. They do not like the cacophony of
The human
humanness.
chaos. I'm
What?
laughing so the human chaos. I was going to say I'm laughing so much, Aurelia, because I just you could be literally describing, and I feel such. I don't know whether you'll channel that's the case for me through, but for example, I know I'm here to help, and I knew it as a child, and I want to help the world. I would do anything for anyone, but the rest of me is like, yeah, can I just go alone on the woods now, please? And actually, my partner who lives next door, he's the same. We'll sit, and then we're like, we'll just sit in silence then, shall we? And I was a massive weed head for 10 years, really like you know, so I don't know whether that's indicative, but that's why I'm laughing, just so you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like a real conflict, that wanting to help and be of service, but don't look at me, don't be around me, don't see me. If I could do it like that, I don't know what that
Yeah.
means, but yeah, I'm really resonating and laughing from what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So the angels all often will do their healing anonymously. Like
Mm,
they'll be part of a chat group and just, you know, they'll hold space in a chat group to uplift it online, which is what my angel friend does, you
mm,
know, or another angel friend goes on spiritual group, you know, spiritual tours. and really basically holds the channel for them. Though she doesn't, people don't know she's doing that.
Sure. Yeah.
And she came to my psychic groups for many, many years and barely said a peep. But her
Mhm.
channel was so important and beautiful.
Mhm.
So, anyway, big heart, natural healers,
Mm,
natural sound beings. Um,
beautiful.
yeah, just very high mind, very aware of the evolution of the planet,
Mm,
you
mhm.
know. Like my one friend, we'll always be in a group talking about planetary healing because I'm an Aquarian, I'm a visionary, right? For the, where are we going? And we'll be all in our heads talking about, well, this and that. And he'll say, well, it's really about the pace of the frequency upgrade of the earth. He just always brings us back, like, how fast really can the humans move into the Om?
Mm, mhm.
That's what we're really looking at, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna move on since
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So since we've talked about the Pleiadians and I know them so well. So the Pleiadians will have kind of a face like mine, a little bit childlike, a
Okay.
little bit like Cupid doll. And they will have kind of a lightness and a kind of a childlike, just sweetness. They'll go for joy, and they'll go for children, animals, flowers. It's like very nature sprite.
Mhm.
And they also are bringing the masculine feminine balance.
Mm, beautiful.
Yeah. So if you go online and type in masculine feminine balance and you look at those people, many of them are Palladian because really that's one of the codes that we bring.
Sorry to cough over you. Can I just
No.
check what you were saying?
Yeah.
So, do you mean as in some f people that are maybe gender fluid? Is that what you mean? And anchoring?
No.
No?
No, it's not
Oh,
what I mean.
no.
What I mean the gender fluid people can be this also,
Sure. Yeah.
but I'm talking about more like a in ingrained knowledge of how does masculine support feminine? How
Oh,
does
I got
feminine support masculine?
right.
How does the system go off balance and only run masculine or only run feminine? And how does that look? And how do you start the figure eight in the chakras to
Oh,
bring yourself back to the unity, the
nice.
supported,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And also the Magdalene lineage, the Yeshua, Mary Magdalene duo also is bringing that. Um, but the Pleiadians are kind of all about that. Like when I'm just talking on an average day and I'm talking to my best friend about somebody I met, I'll say, blah, 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 they're so nice. I love them. They're masculine essence,
Okay.
you know, which, what that means is when we come out of the infinite, we're a whole soul. We have our
Mm,
masculine and feminine intact.
yeah.
And if we're going to start to incarnate down in these very polarized duality um, planets, we split to be of service so that the part of us that is feminine essence, which I am, though you'd never know it in my early life because I'd had about 12 lives male before this and I just was really oriented male.
Mm.
But anyway, um, I lost my track.
So
Um,
you were saying about meeting a friend with a masculine
Yes,
essence.
yes. So you come out of the infinite as a whole being, and then you split
Yeah.
into two halves of the soul. And that's why when you meet your twin, your whole being goes into tumult and growth, and you cry and you laugh, and you can't bear to be apart from them because
Mm,
it's literally yourself.
mm,
And I've had a very strong relationship with my twin soul masculine essence guy who's in a male body this life. And not always. We've been in two female bodies or two male bodies. Um, but anyway, for 35 years, I've been exploring what's it like to be with your twin soul. So
mm.
that's another Pleiadian thing, right?
Right.
is that
beautiful.
masculine feminine, and how does that, and as it turns out, we are both pretty evolved. So I have a lot of male essence, not
Mm.
essence, male uh, energetics,
Yep.
and
Okay.
he, for example, is more emotion, has higher emotional IQ probably than me or most women.
Mm.
So we're both very balanced in that
That's
way.
lovely. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so right. So I was just talking about the masculine feminine because the Pleiadians bringing that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And um, yeah, I would say it's really a joy. They have that track because they're so flower and nature oriented. They're in the unity consciousness. And if
Mm.
you're really going into the unity consciousness, it's joy, right? It's just like life force.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's what the Pleiadians bring. Okay, so I'm
Beautiful.
going to go on. So I'm going to go to the Andromedans, which I've also had lives there, and particularly I worked in the kind of part of the Andromedan more conscious beings helping Andromedans who wanted to come to the Earth as
Mm.
children,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I'm a receiver here of the children, to help the at the higher level, the Andromedan children, the Palladian children, uh, to feel comfortable here.
Mm. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, a lot of us have that job. But,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and one time I just have a cute story. I spent a lot of time on the Big Island, and one time my guides came and got me, and they brought me to the shore of Kealakekua Bay, and they said, "We need you here because the whales are birthing right here, and they're bringing in all these Andromedan, Pleiadian, Syrian babies,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
this is part of your job, and you get to do it for the whales also."
Oh, goodness me. I'm getting tingles all over about that. This is
Yeah,
so
that was
beautiful. So,
one
so
of the more special moments of my life.
yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to back to the Andromedans. So the Andromedans uh, are networkers. If you find somebody who loves community centers, love is the person within a community that says, "Oh, you need to meet so and so, and you need to go to this person for massage," and those people who are making the connections,
Yeah.
those are often the Andromedans.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they have like a longer, fuller face.
Okay.
If you gained 30 pounds, you could have that.
Okay.
But you're so slim. But they have kind of a fuller, longer
Oh,
face,
beautiful.
usually.
Yeah.
And they are slower, uh, also not out as on stage, but
Mm.
you know, often the people who are putting things together for other
Mm.
people. They
Mm.
sometimes are psychic, they're sometimes counselors, but they're helping people
Yeah.
basically bring their parts back and connect them.
Mm. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, shaman work,
Okay. Okay.
sometimes
Yeah.
Andromedans.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. So you're Caroline Mary, you're not saying, "Oh, this is me." So
Well, it's funny because I can hear a lot with the Pleiadian energy, like the child, like I can just be like so childlike and totally more happy with children and animals than most humans and nature.
yeah,
But
yeah.
what I was thinking when I was listening is, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I feel like I go in and out of loads of different aspects, to the point where sometimes I'm like, who am I? Because there's all these different aspects. I've got one friend that is like 100% that is her. Like she's really in that flow. She's just created a community group for that thing, and she just has so many groups gathering. So yeah, lovely, really lovely to hear that that's there. So yeah, we'll
That's
see.
that. Okay, I'm going to go to the Arcturians.
Great.
So the Arcturians are misunderstood here.
Mm.
If you find somebody who is, you can feel that they're very bright, but people just don't get them. They're staying right at the outside of the circle. They often have somebody who is sort of like a wingman into social circulation for them, but they
Yeah.
just hang right outside because they're I think maybe ninth dimension. They're very unity based. They love things like the Enneagram or astrology, anything that has um, a
Unity.
oneness,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
um, a system
Assist.
that's oneness based.
I've got you.
They can go really deep into that because their consciousness only works on oneness.
Mm.
So the deeper you get in the human chakra system, the more they don't want to go there. Like they don't want to do human emotion, they don't want to do human body, they'll ignore the body, they do not want to have power plays in the third chakra. Like, leave me alone. I'm reading my book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're known to be avoidant personalities.
I've got
And
you.
but I've had a best friend who was Arcturian, and if you get to his heart, he had the most depth and the deepest understanding and the most love, like
Mm-hmm.
so pure, just like
Mm.
honey.
Mm.
And already understood everything. Just one of those beings that you can't talk about something that they don't already know. That's why they don't want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
So very advanced beings, not as many of them here
Mm.
as the
I,
Pleiadians, Andromedans,
yeah.
but we really need them
Mm.
uh, because they have what's that word, like they can cut down to the truth in a moment, or they
Mm.
can find the piece of information that's missing. Everybody's talking
Mm.
about something and they will just go direct to what the point is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That they're decisive, concise. you know
Mm.
yeah, so we love them. If any of you relate to that, please feel appreciated.
Yeah,
We
I
get you.
definitely a little bit of that. I feel the bit when you were saying like always on the edge, and then you have a friend that's like the bridge to the group, like the Andromedan friend who's the networker. I'm like I'll create the fair, but part of me's like you're just gonna all get on with it now, aren't you? Like like, oh, I just sit over here and you can buy a book or yeah, funny. So I have resonated with a little bit of that. And actually one of the
Yeah.
first sessions I ever had with somebody was like, you don't feel like you've really been on Earth. Do you feel like a bit? And I'm like, yeah, kind of. She's like, do you feel like you haven't really done much? And I'm like, yeah, and it's weird because I kind of, I was a grade A student. I knew I was kind of had some capacity, but boink, straight, off. And she said, yeah, basically you've been like up and off the planet a lot of your younger life. I was like, that makes sense. She said ninth dimension. So maybe that was Arcturian, maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to have all of you who are watching and you, Caroline
Yeah.
Mary,
Yeah.
just ask yourself right now, have I been Arcturian? And
Mm,
just see what you feel, yes or no.
mm, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's take a moment for everybody, for the other three that we've done.
Mm.
So ask yourselves, have I been Andromedan? Yes or no? And have I been Pleiadian? Yes or no?
Mm, mm,
And lastly, have I had lives on the angelic planes? Yes or no?
mm.
And even though we haven't done it yet, but we're going to do this next, the planet Sirius, usually Sirius B, have I been Sirian? Have I been on the Sirius planets? Yes or no? Okay, give us the download, Caroline Mary, about yourself.
I was just like, yep, 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 yep. I was like, okay. I wasn't expecting, but and I was getting a lot of that, that like Cold War energy that you're like, da, 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 like some kind of alignment, and yeah, yeah. I mean, in I'm co-writing a book right at the moment on autism and ADHD, because for me, I always had this feeling it's star seeds. Come on now, and I was like, I wanted to talk about this a bit more in depth and not just make a blanket assumption. So I've been working with Ben, and who is a fellow author of Angela's, in the Oracle series, and one of the things he said is some of us came in, like really early on in creation, where, when creators split and there was like waves, waves, waves. And it's not saying better, because all creation is from creator, right? But that's where, because when I very first met him, he said, yeah, I think you would be, they're saying you'd be Asperger's, not autistic or this. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? Because in a human, they're like, oh, that's not even a label, that's not even a thing anymore. And I was like, why did you say that? What did that mean? And his comment was that it's because you've been on earth a lot, but you've also been in the higher realms. So you struggle, but you've done a lot of earth times. So you mask real well. You just know how to do the thing. And that really struck a chord, because I feel like I can always do what you're meant to do. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just putting it on. It's just like I'm playing the game, and I know I'm playing the game, whereas everyone else around me is like not playing the game. And it's like, this is really weird. Like people go, oh, let's go to fancy dress. I'm like, I'm already in fancy dress. I, I can't deal with another layer. That's just like, I already feel like I'm having to kind of constantly, I don't know how to say it, because even this, right, I have to work to hold back light language, because I know it can really trigger people. But if I'm really in my flow, I talk very quickly and I'm interspersing light language, because it's so much more, it's like it's like realigning me back, back, back. Yeah. So I'm having to always play the earthling so I don't get locked up again and things like this. So yeah, I'm kind of not surprised, but I didn't know if I'd have had a yes to all of them. And please, if you're watching this, like, this isn't just about me. I mean, it's great because it's very confirming and helpful, but please write in the comments. I'd love to know, like, what are you feeling? What do you resonate with? Do you know somebody that you're like, oh my God, that's the person? Or, love to hear the feedback, because, the more we talk about it, the more normal it becomes, the easier it is for us
Yes.
to be, and this is why I'm doing Ascension TV, right? It's like I was very ostracized for being woo or talking about past lives of this. And it's like, no, it needs to be normalized, so that when we're having those memory feelings and activating codes, and we're not feeling, oh, am I meant to do this? It's like, no, you are. Come on, let's do
Yes.
it. So thank you, Aureya. That's amazing. So let's hear about Sirius then. Sirius
Yeah.
B and the planets. Yeah.
Right. So, I feel like I know the least about the Syrians,
Okay.
but this is what I do know, that they bring, and this is why you'll be able to hear why I think this is you. They bring in like a lot of energy, like they're very strong. They are juiced to do things. They're usually very creative. They can do things that take a lot of attention, like be a surgeon or, you know, um, and they can do three or four things, in their lives that all take tremendous, intense attention, and they do them all with precision.
Mm,
They just have like 10 times the average bear ability to focus and concentrate and let a
mm,
lot of energy move through them.
Yeah.
And if you are sensitive to colors, often they look gold to me. It looks like a very golden light. So that's about all that I have to say about them, but I have a funny story about them. I hope I didn't tell this story on another of our series, but so I was at a spiritual retreat type thing on Mount Shasta in California, USA. And we were at the end of the week. It was many, many days. And all these guides had been coming to me and coming to me because we really had a high frequency together as a group. And like Metatron kept coming, and beings that I had heard of, but I didn't ever know they would talk to me, you know.
Mhm.
So anyway, so I'm sitting there with my twin soul, and we're just meditating in the meadow, Panther Meadow, up on a little promontory, which I think that probably everyone goes there and meditates. Uh, and all of a sudden, I was talking to this couple, and they were full of joy, full of light, and kind of a laughter energy. And I had been used to all the week saying, "Who are you? Who are you?" And they said, "We're the masculine and feminine twin soul guardians of the planet Sirius." And I was like, "Wait a minute,
Whoa.
do you really know me?"
Yeah.
And they were laughing. They're like, "Of course we know you." And I'm like, "Well, do you know my twin soul?" And then they showed me and him and the two of them with all our arms around each other, laughing uproariously. That there was little Aureya down on the planet saying, "Oh, do I really deserve to know you?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so that was
Oh, that's
so
just so beautiful, Rhea.
it's a good little snapshot, I think, for all of us because we don't get it, who we
Yeah.
really are,
Yeah.
right?
That's exactly what I was thinking because I've had Metatron. He appeared when I was doing my dance training. I probably have said this definitely before. And part of me was like, yay! And then part of me was like, oh. And I think on the last episode we did about spirit guides, I've had them appear and then I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, then bye. And I won't kind of think about them. So this is so healing for me because it's like, duh, come on. The fact that you want to know about these beings, the fact that you think about them, the fact that you want to be of service, it's about vibration. And yes, when we have a shitty day, we kind of drop off, we're in the thing. But the true self, as you said, we're all one. There is no division. There isn't a hierarchy. The human journey is very gives us all this stuff, but it's not like that. So thank you. It's just so lovely to hear and be reminded
Yay.
of that. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go now to the guides that are up on the spaceships. So this might be a little weird for you guys, but you too can call them in for your own healing, and they would love to work with you. They're just really looking for people who can trust enough that they exist and either channel them for yourselves or uh, learn to channel them for others, as I have done because it was just my calling. And I have a little cheat sheet of how to work with them yourself.
Mm,
You can text me. My phone number is in the Ascension TV info.
yeah.
And please text me. I'll send you that little cheat sheet how to work with this group. So I'm
Beautiful.
going to do it right now, and I'm not going to belabor it, but I'll do it out loud.
Yeah. Okay.
Command 1221. Command 1221. Command 1221. Greetings to all of you. Thank you so very much for your service. We are calling you in today to do a reading for Caroline Mary, who I am with right now. And we are also online on a podcast. So you guys better be good at this. Okay. So they're sending me, they always send me immediately the guides that are the best for this. They're sending me a guide I know well named Raleigh, and it's the old-fashioned spelling, Raleigh, Raleigh. And thanks, Raleigh, for coming in. So what we're looking for is a little reading of um, where Caroline Mary uh, originates um, planetarily. Like what planets has she uh, been on? And also, is there a planet that you can tell us that she comes from originally? Okay. Okay. So there's a, I don't know this, I've just heard of it, a planet or group of planets called Vega, I believe.
Mm. Okay.
And they're saying that you came there early. Okay. So that's good. Can you give us some qualities of Vega since I don't really know?
Mm.
Okay, so Raleigh is saying, uh, well, the beings that are here that you might know are similar to you, Caroline Mary. They have more of their consciousness is more like 10th, 11th, 12th chakras, and they're overseers. They're looking at the bigger perspective on anything, and what what can be brought down from those higher perspectives of health and healing for whatever planet you're on, and can be brought really through the heart. And um, they often have this propensity to speak in tongues
Ah.
because uh, earth languages are much denser
Mm. Yes.
and basically harder to move the energy quickly to
Mm.
get the messages through to another body,
Mm.
frequency wise.
Yeah.
And so um, the beings will tend to, in a way, look very very tall, and that the light is kind of way up, and but it's very fast coming down through, and uh, loving, very very loving, and kind of a quick hit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people will not immediately grasp what has been given to them by someone from this background, but later they'll say, they might think that they thought of it. They'll say, oh, here is this understanding that's just dawning on me. And I wonder if Caroline Mary said something about this. And you didn't actually. What you did is you brought down the the wholeness code in frequency
Mahaga, yeah.
that reminded them of, oh, I used to know this in a past life, or in my lives in Africa, I came into this understanding. Or so yeah, you're a kind of a translator, but through mostly frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's lovely. Can you tell us, Raleigh, any other planets that are strong in the makeup of this person? Yeah, so he's bringing me to the Syrians.
Mm-hmm.
He says you did work quite many many centuries ago. Um, you were part of a collective that we're basically training Syrians from the wisdom and high information from Vega. And so you were someone who would come and have lives on Sirius to bring information, just as you're doing now on Earth.
I'm having all these tingles and shivers. Like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Uh,
Yeah.
okay, Raleigh, is there anything else that will tickle Caroline Mary's heart?
That's nice.
Okay, here he's saying there is huge gratitude for you to be willing to have Earth lives, Caroline Mary. You are bringing again, like uh, translation systems into so many groups that are here that are helping them to basically lay down their earthly veils
Mm,
and frequency up back into who they really are.
mm,
And those codes are going out in your books. They're going out in your voice when you're speaking at these events, um, and in your light language. And hold on, there's something he wants to say about that. He's saying if you orient, he says you already do to some degree, but he's saying I would just like to say to you, if you can orient to bringing light language through as a gift to someone,
mm,
because it truly, truly is a gift to them, that you could say to them just something like, something's coming through that I have for you. It's going to come through in light language. Are you open for that?
mm,
And then, as you know, it will take less than a minute and they will get so much.
mm,
And so,
mm.
as opposed to you kind of having this pressure to hold it back and letting out these kind of little blips of it and being embarrassed,
Yeah.
if you can more hold it as such a treasure
Mm,
that you can bestow,
yeah.
and all you need is to give somebody an offering sentence. I have something,
Yes.
would you like it?
Yes.
And those who are ready to hear, which he's saying it will be 90% of the people that you will attract anyway, maybe more than 90%. They may not be grateful in the moment. They will tend to laugh because their
Mm,
frequency is going up.
yeah. Mohey going over. Yeah. 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 I've done
And
workshops and people they don't know what to do and they are laughing.
they laugh. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Raleigh, is there any last things that you want to say to our loved one here? Yeah, he's saying, really, please feel our gratitude. And he's saying, and to those of you who are listening, um, we are here
Mm,
to um, assist you to know yourselves better and to strengthen your channels.
mm,
So if you feel called, please do go through Aureya. You could have a session and experience us
mm,
channeling through her.
mm,
And those of you who really feel called, please call us on your own.
mm, mm.
Okay, Raleigh, thank you so much.
Thank you
To the
so
command, thank you.
you go maha go na go get ma go yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you, Aureya. That's so lovely because I have a feeling I feel most me if I freely incorporate light language in things I do when I'm healing and things. But I've had just a few people go, whoa, and then I'm like, oh yeah, oh, I shouldn't do that or something. And it jars me off, and then when I remember, which is lovely when I'm around Ben, he will often, his healing sessions are pretty much all light language interspersed with human rather than the other way around, which is what I would do if I let myself. So thank you. It feels like a big tick I'm seeing, like go do it, and
Yes,
it's just that moment of, hey, would you like some? Like, for example, what I feel like is I could actually say some now, which would be for the people and for yourself. So shall I do a little bit?
yes,
And
please.
so if it's may it be for the highest good only, and all the guys that want to come through. I can work it to I can mahola it to shukera mauka it to ko kana it to shuka ma tu in a hala. Yehna uwohaka and hade e de ishu e to kukuke neke he la ala ukuka mare e shuku na ba awaka na elua kwe na makuki e ko na ma wakawa e kan mo to ka lu kutru to ko e kan maulo e kwam to ka she na la yoko mahawa I to no kina ma e lo hoi I tuka hana a de shikada na iu e tama uakwa ne tuka ya. Yeah, muko ai kita maua. Durch. Oi. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. And I would like to give the viewers a way to integrate that, or anytime you're with Caroline Mary or somebody that is giving you a big light download, is that here in the upper chest
I love
is
that.
the Sacred Heart. If you want to know more about it, again, you can text me. I have a handout called Sacred Heart Activation, but this is where our higher self integrates into our human body. And so this will help you basically hold the center while the light is ricocheting around and hitting some of your, old structures that are dissolving. And instead of being drawn out into, that feeling of like, oh my God, I've had to go through this so many times, I'm in this pattern, to if you want to come and hold the center, which will allow the unraveling, this is the place. And if it's a particularly emotional situation for you, you can also hold or instead hold the belly button. So,
Oh.
belly button, if you breathe there, sets up the river of the waters and helps you soothe yourself.
Mm, mm.
Okay, any last comments, Caroline Mary?
Wow. Actually, there is one thing. There is how am I starting this? I had a soul alignment reading some years ago, and this was actually recommended by Ben, and I was having sessions with him. And it said that my first incarnation was in on Mintakan, which I don't really know much about Mintakan, but I do know what I remember from it was that it was a planet of not that I remember, sorry, from the reading, with the information was saying it's a planet of deep blue seas, much like the Mediterranean, and the water just goes on and on. And if you're aware of Rebecca Campbell's Holding Your Light or Work Your Light cards, there is actually a card of Mintakan, and there's a mermaid sat. And what she said is Mintakans often won't like the murky water of Earth. They want the pure crystal clear water. And when I read that, I was like, thank you, because all this, gotta go wild swimming. I'm like, hell no, give me a blue pool, right? Because I don't live in the Med, even though it's chlorine, because I love that, that freedom. And that really was very confirming for me. So whether it was the first one or whatever,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
just made me
Well, I
chuckle.
think it would be good for you to write that word, metakan, down in the notes so people can look it up. And
Taken.
by the way, I have been told that I've lived on a water a water world, a water planet
Right.
several times. So maybe we knew each other there.
Each other. And like honestly, like I wear glasses, right? You wear glasses. So for years I would swim like this. And then my mum bought my stepdad some prescription goggles, and it was years ago, and I was working in accounts, and I got them and I was like, oh, I could swim and see under the water. And I would literally go in. I would never dive. I'm not a diver, but I once I got in, I would go down and I would swim along the bottom and just be like, ah, just so yeah, it does make me laugh because the a murky sea or river, I'm like, nah, I know it's the thing, but I'm like, nah. The witch wound is like, no, that's not cool for me. But yeah, it made me laugh. So yeah, again, let's if you have any knowings, viewers, please drop them in, and about anything else as well. We'd love to hear what's resonating, what's coming up for you. And and if you want to connect with me for light language sessions, I do that, and I've got a fair coming up in June, and I'm just seeing, yeah, of course I'm going to do a light language talk there. Because it's just joyful. It feels so, for me it's very aligning, and I know it can be very
Yes.
activating. So
It is for everyone.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
aligning for everyone. And do remember, Caroline Mary,
Mm,
before you go in, to have everybody just hold themselves, and
yeah.
they'll be able to receive it so much better.
I love that. Thank you. Because that's the
Yeah.
thing. The very last thing I would ever want to do is create, conflict for somebody. And that's why I think sometimes I'm like, don't do it, because if it triggers people, that's not helpful. But it's really good to know that. And just forewarning, isn't it? It's just saying, you can leave or stay. And yeah. So, Aureya, thank you so much. What an absolute joy and gift to talk with you again. And if you enjoyed this, check out the details, and I'll put all the contacts for Aureya there, and you can look her up. And we will be back, I'm sure, probably in a month or so with another episode, and just keep weaving the wisdom. Thank you so much, Aureya. It's just beautiful.
Thank you. It's always a joy.
Yeah, amazing. Don't forget to let us know how you have felt today, what came up for you. We really would love to know. And we will see you again on Ascension TV and Enlightenment Essentials. Bye for now.